I see what ho, chaps and chappets, Game Chap and Bertie here. Yes, fellows, and I do say we are now going to be taking a look at a character profile for the upcoming game Super Smash Bros, you know.
Most certainly. Super Smash Bros coming up very soon. Lots of characters expected. We don't know what all of them will be, but one will be Zero Suit Samus for sure.
It most certainly will, fellows. Zero Suit Samus. Now, firstly, who is this Zero Suit Samus? Well, she is the combat form that Samus Aran, the spacefaring bounty hunter, takes when she is not wearing her power suit for whatever reason, you see. Sometimes that's because her suit has been disabled due to hostile action, and other times she voluntarily deactivates the power suit based on the situation.
Ah, I see. Now, the Zero Suit consists of a blue skin-tight bodysuit with purple markings.
Yes, that's right. It does not allow Samus to make use of energy tanks, and therefore shielding is not available, you see.
Indeed. However, because she doesn't have much on, its lighter weight, as it were, allows increased mobility thanks to Samus Chozo training and physical conditioning, of course.
That's right, of course. She was raised by the Chozo, the bird race of people, in a special environment, meaning she is very much at the peak of physical condition and ready to take on any challenger.
Most certainly. Samus's sole armament, while in the Zero Suit, is an emergency pistol, which she terms rather useless in Metroid Zero Mission.
That's right, of course. Now, the emergency pistol's function is to act as a stun pistol, which when fully charged can freeze an enemy in place for several seconds. Now, of course, she made use of this weapon and suit to successfully infiltrate the space pirate mothership after her ship was shot down by pirate fighters at the end of Metroid Zero Mission.
Most certainly, so we shouldn't be surprised to see that pistol as one of her moves.
That's right, of course. Now, since the Zero Suit, speaking of technology, does not carry any of the power suit's modular upgrades, features such as missiles, morph balls, space jump, screw attack, and other enhancements cannot be used by Samus in this unarmored state. So, of course, she gains the advantage of mobility and speed with the slight trade-off of being less strong because, of course, she's outside of that power suit, you know.
Most certainly. Now, this differs from the previous Smash Bros. Brawl, where, of course, she was in the suit.
Yes, indeed. Of course, Samus in Super Smash Bros. Brawl was by default in that suit, and you could change to the Zero Suit, whereas in the upcoming Super Smash Bros., the Zero Suit is an entirely new character by itself.
Most certainly. So it looks as though she's not just got the gun, but also she's doing some sort of self-defense moves as well.
That's right, of course. She clearly knows hand-to-hand combat as well as making use of the gun. Now, of course, normally this Zero Suit is considered a serious downgrade from the power suit, you see, but things are different in the world of Super Smash Bros., where her Zero Suit form is actually ranked higher on the tier list than her power-armored state.
Now, the Zero Suit's first Smash appearance was in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Her moves in Super Smash Bros. Brawl consisted of a versatile and agile, fast-paced array of strikes, kicks, and emergency pistol-assisted attacks. However, in Super Smash Bros., her emergency pistol gained a Plasma Whip upgrade. This allowed it to attack opponents in a ranged whipping manner from various directions, as well as enabling a tether grab for recovery purposes.
That's right, of course. In Brawl, she could use that emergency pistol's Plasma Whip of sorts to lash out at the foes, of course with her smash attacks on the side and up direction, as well as, of course, grabbing that ledge if you got knocked off the stage from quite a distance away, thereby giving her an edge on the recovery side of things. But indeed, the big question here, really, is what changes have been made to Zero Suit Samus in the new Super Smash Bros. Game?
Most certainly. Well, firstly, her model has been changed.
Ah.
You can clearly see she is newer, shinier, bigger, and has new heels.
Well, indeed.
And big boots.
Big boots, yes.
Yes, it must be a new suit altogether. Actually, we asked Samus to try on her own suit, and look what happened.
Oh my goodness.
My word.
Well, yes, it's certainly a step up there, I think, in the old improvement direction.
Well, I think it is.
Anyway, her new boots. Goodness me, those heels, fellows. These are a special type of jet boot, and indeed, normally, Samus does not have any upgrades, as we said earlier, outside of the power suit, but it seems here a bit of Chozo technology has been applied to the Zero Suit, meaning her new shiny boots give her a new way of attacking, and presumably giving her a bit of extra mobility.
Most certainly. So there's something extra there. She's got the boots on, and these boots aren't just for show. They're going to be kicking as well.
Although I dare say they do look rather like heels, you know. Certainly very tall heels, in fact. Now, of course, Mr. Sakurai famously joked in Smash Direct that Zero Suit Samus wouldn't be coming back. Then, of course, presented her proudly to the screen, as you can see there.
He most certainly did. She's definitely back.
She's definitely back. Now, of course, fellows, the first thing you'll notice is she has a lot more fluid and smooth animations there. Her model is very, very shiny, and, of course, as we said, had some certain enhancements.
she does, and those boots seem to be working very well for the old special moves.
They do. Now look at those boots, fellows. As you can see with a yellow glow, they have a rather interesting effect. They have a special sort of recovery ability, and it seems a new attack there. Poor old Marth.
Now who knows if the final smash will involve the old boots?
Well, I don't know. It certainly seems from some camps a rather odd choice to include these new boots, because of course they are not canonically in the Metroid series anywhere, but then Super Smash Bros. Has been known in the past to, shall we say, take liberties and include new features just purely for utility purposes.
Yes, indeed. I think they wanted to do a Samus without the suit, and so of course they wanted to add something to the gun as well, so they come up with the boots.
Yes, indeed. As you can see, just looking at that gun there, it appears to also have a new look with a bit of purple there, and indeed it appears to have, shall we say, a more advanced transforming mode of sorts.
Yes, it does. Now I wonder if she holds the gun all the time, or whether she can equip and unequip it.
Well, I don't know. Of course, traditionally in Smash Bros. Brawl, she was always in possession of that gun. In fact, speaking of guns, Captain Falcon has one but never uses it, I say. But indeed, I think she's going to stay with the gun, using it as the older Paralyzer Whip and Stun Attack as before, but the new boots certainly add a rather large dimension to her character.
Yes, they do. Now, special moves. Well, perhaps we might see the ship in a special move, or an ending move, or whatever.
Well, I don't know. Yes, indeed, of course, on the subject of her final smash. Of course, regular Power Armored Samus's final smash is in fact the Zero Laser, as you know, an extraordinarily powerful beam that blows away the competition, and beforehand that used to turn her into Zero Suit Samus, but not anymore. So that, of course, leaves a hole in the question, what will Zero Suit Samus's final smash be? Might she call in the gunship for an attack run, for example?
Could do, yes indeed.
Of course, she did that quite a lot in Metroid Prime 3, whereby you could attack the foe with missiles from space, you'll say.
Yes, she did. Maybe she has a pet Metroid she can suck the life out of them with.
A pet Metroid?
Who knows?
That's perhaps a little far-fetched, old chap. It might just be, you know. You never know what Mr. Sakurai is going to do, I say. Now, of course, we don't yet know whether her attacks are going to be stronger this time round. Those jet boots, as we've said before, do indeed suggest there's definitely an upgrade there. It might just be she packs a little more punch with those. I dare say they can't just be for show, for goodness sakes.
Yes, we may have to wait until we actually get in the game, until we can find out their full capabilities.
That's right, old chap, but in any case, it seems Zero Suit Samus, once again, in the new Super Smash Bros., is going to play the role of the agile, fast-moving character. Of course, not necessarily too strong. Perhaps the power-armored Samus will take that role once again, but indeed she always was quite a formidable threat, especially against Captain Falcon, I must say. Very dangerous, you know.
Yes, she was, and those who specialised in that character will no doubt be looking forward to seeing what this one can produce.
I'm going to play her, so you know.
Oh, are you really?
Of course, old chap, wouldn't pass that up, you know.
Wonderful.
But of course, I think Mr. Sakurai should be careful to make sure there's a good amount of difference between her and the Wii Fit trainer, because of course the Wii Fit trainer once again is a very agile, fast-moving character, so there will be a need to draw a distinction, and perhaps that's where the jet boots come into play.
It's possible, and no doubt good fights are coming up for those two.
Yes, indeed. A very interesting matchup, I'm sure, but it was quite a similar character. But indeed, Zero Suit Samus, I dare say we're quite excited for, and we look forward to seeing just exactly what she'll do in the final game.
We most certainly do.
Yes, indeed, Vales. This has been a character profile of the spacefaring bitey hunter lady. Good at it. She's like the frontline lady, isn't she, old chap, for the series?
She is. They're using a lot of promotion and photos of her.
They are, old boy, not least of which was this one, building Easter eggs or something, old chap. Is it a bunny suit, I see?
Yes, I think it might be, yes.
Well, it's rather good. But
yes, nice ears.
Nice ears. Yes, that's right. Anyway, friends, do join us in the next exciting character profile of sorts, I say. We look forward to seeing you then. Until then...